Okay, if we are ready to go, we'll take your questions now. Please raise your hand and we'll get you a mic.
Hey, Carl. Joe Whalen, WBMA TV in Birmingham. There's high expectations for the defense this year, particularly up front. How much would you say the success of this defense is dependent on you being 100% healthy this season?
I'd say that the coaches have recruited well, and whether I'm healthy or not, this defense has high expectations. And I feel like I'll be a leader on and off the field, and I can't wait to play this season.
Carl, Tony Cornish Jr., WTVY-TV in Dothan. Are you 100% right now? What indication or clearance can you give us on the hip problem? What exactly happened? It's still a mystery to us.
Oh, the smile on my face says I'm healthy. I cracked my hip early in the season, and it's healed up. But, throughout the season, I wasn't 100%, but I'm healthy now. And, that's truly a blessing. So.
Hey, Carl. Chris Womack, CBS 42 in Birmingham. How big of a difference does it make on the defensive line when you and Montravius are both out there?
I think we make a big difference, but we have so many athletic guys on the defensive line, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the season so they can show their talents.
Tom Menino, WBTM 13 in Birmingham. I don't know if you're aware of it. I assume you are with social media and everything that's been said. Some are maybe questioning if Gus Malzahn is the right guy to lead this program, especially with the pressure going into this year to win. A, are you aware of that talk? And B, what makes Gus Malzahn, in your mind, the right man to be leading this program?
Well, the first thing I want to say is his resume speaks for itself. He's won games everywhere. And every time we, have a down season, the media wants to put out there that, that somebody's on the hot seat. So that's all I have to say about that. But his resume speaks for itself.
Marissa.
Carl, there's so much defensive coaching changeover now with Muschamp leaving and taking some of the coaches from Auburn with him. Just what's this defense going to look like without Muschamp, and how did y'all take that news when you found out he may be leaving?
It's an easy transition, and you gotta change every year. Even in the NFL, those guys change coordinators a lot. So him taking the job at South Carolina was a great opportunity for him and his family. But then again, we had to adapt, and we got Coach Steele now, and I feel like it's been an easy transition. We're going to be a better defense than we were last season.
Matt Roberts, WVLA Channel 33 in Baton Rouge. Carl, what is it? Does it help having a guy like Kevin Steele who's been in the conference that kind of knows what you guys are up against?
Of course it helps, and I trust Coach Malzahn. When he hired him, he's going to hire the best guy for us. And so far, it's been great. Easy transition. We like him. We're gelling with him, building that relationship as player and coach. So it's been a great transition.
Steve Nissom, WEAR Pensacola. Seems like you're in a good place now with the injury, but when it first happened last year, considering the year before you were also hurt, how tough was that to deal with, and how did you kind of fight through that?
Well, of course it's tough, but, we all go through adversity in our lives, and, it's whether you choose to get stronger from it or let it hold you down. I've chose to become stronger from it. So, that's back in my past, and I'm moving forward right now.
Tatum Everett, KTBS out of Shreveport, Louisiana. You spoke how Steele has made an easy transition for y'all. Do you think he adds a little extra perspective with his history at LSU to maybe be able to stop Leonard Fournette this year?
I wouldn't say that, but I would say, his experience has allowed us to go against all opponents. And, and a running back is a running back when you stop him in the backfield. So.
Hey, Carl, growing up, how much of an impact did your mom have on you, both in football and off the field?
My mom has had a great impact on my life. She's, has a really strong work ethic. I've seen her, own multiple businesses and stuff like that. So, both my parents have really, helped and molded me into the person I am today.
Where do you set the bar for yourself individually this season? Being 100% healthy, how good can you be?
I'm not going to tell you that because, I like to keep the goals to myself, and that's how I work. So,
Carl, to your left over here. It's said in the SEC that it's become an arms race when it comes to facilities, whether it's stadium or practice or dorms and things like that. Do players notice that? Do you guys, are you cognizant when you travel through the league? Do you talk about that kind of thing? Are you aware of who has the best and who doesn't have as good as the other? Is it important to the players?
Yeah, it's important to me because I like it. We get something new, and then somebody else gets something new, and then they want to top that person. So I mean, it's better for me. So I like it. I'm aware of it, but I don't know how long I'm going to be here for the next big thing. So.
Marissa, right behind you.
Carl, hey, Rob Cassidy with Yahoo Sports. Can you kind of let me know what the transition's like from going from a top-rated high school recruit when you get on campus? Is it a little bit of a shock? Do they have to de-recruit you guys a little bit?
I mean, yeah, that's the process, but everybody's a little different. Everybody, transitions a little bit differently. So I mean, it's not too much of a big deal.
Is it harder for you guys to realize that maybe, you guys started as stars on the high school level to realize that you're back at the bottom of the pile, even though you've been hyped up so much?
I can't speak for everybody because, when I came in, I was like, okay, everybody's been hyping you up. And the recruiting sites, I feel like that's a problem nowadays because, you give, putting all these praise on these guys, and then they come into the program and they feel like they're the big man on campus. But for me, it was different. I knew I had to work on some aspects of my game to become a better football player. So, I mean, it wasn't nothing that I didn't expect.
We're going back over here.
How much of it all do you think about what you'd like to do at the next level? How often at all do you think about the NFL and that process that's going to be ahead of you at some point?
I'm focused on Auburn and only Auburn right now.
Last year, you guys were the SEC favorite. This year, a little more under the radar. Do you like this scenario better coming into the season?
I do like the scenario. He didn't ask me that. So. I like the scenario because it's feeling like kind of like a. I'm not going to answer that. We'll find out when the season goes on.
Vince Lyon of WAKA Montgomery. What's your reaction to the inordinate amount of transfers? 12 or 13 players transferring out? What's the reaction to that?
It's not too much of a big reaction. We get new freshmen. We get new people changing in and out the program. I'm happy that we get new guys at Auburn.
Carl said it's been a pretty easy transition from Muschamp to Steele. What, if any, adjustments have been made to the defense?
Just renaming phrases. Muschamp might call something a certain way. Coach Steele might call something a certain way. Just names, really. But it's been a pretty easy transition.
Carl, your thoughts on the opening game against the reigning ACC champions in your house, Jordan Hare. Talk about that and the guy they have a quarterback, what challenge he poses.
Everybody knows, they have a good quarterback, good team, and can't wait to compete against them.
You mentioned it being an easy transition from Muschamp now to Steele. Just what are some of those characteristics Muschamp had that you may miss this season on the defensive side of the ball?
He was a great coach, miss all about him, but, Coach Steele is a great coach as well. So, I can't wait to work with Coach Steele.
I guess I'll follow up on what I asked you earlier. You said Gus Malzahn's resume speaks for itself. What about his resume speaks for itself to you specifically?
First year at Auburn, went to a national championship game. That's part of his resume.
John Franklin in the quarterback mix this year. What's been your impression of him and what you've seen of him so far?
John Franklin comes in every day, works hard on the weekends. Good impression of him. He's earned our respect as a team.
Go right back, front row of the cameras.
Carl, your impressions of this SEC Media Days extravaganza, being in the spotlight, all these cameras, how do you take this challenge on as you do on the football field?
I don't think it's that much of a challenge, I really, I enjoy it, coming to represent Auburn as best as I can. So it's an honor for me, and I don't really think it's a challenge.
Got time for more questions anymore?
Taylor Tannenbaum from WHNT in Huntsville. You and Rudy Ford both on a watch list for best defensive player this upcoming season. I guess you've watched him grow both on the field and from the sideline you've been able to watch. How have you seen him change over the years and grow over the years, and how good of a feeling is it to know that you have Rudy Ford behind you on that defense?
Rudy's a good friend of mine, and it's good watching him. He's always been a physical freak, But, he came in as a running back, and, that transition to safety is pretty amazing to me because, if I had to go on offense, it would be pretty hard for me. So, it's been good to watch him grow and develop, and I can't wait, to see what he does this season.
Back to the front.
Carl, you open with 5 straight home games at Jordan-Hare Stadium. How important is it for this team to start off fast with that advantage to try to get some early momentum for the challenges that await during the season down the stretch?
We take one game at a time, but the biggest challenge and the thing that we want to have is we want to keep the same mindset and how do I say this? Keep the same status throughout the season. So whatever happens, we want to live up to the rules that were set by this leadership staff, and, and continue to follow that no matter what happens. So we take one game at a time. So I'm not even focused on that. We just focus on Clemson and then so forth and so on.
Right here.
And Carl, with the way the SEC played against some of the spread teams from outside of the conference, do you feel like the defensive and offensive line depth in this conference really kind of sets it apart from some of those other conferences?
I do.
Carl, there's going to be a lot of attention paid to the quarterback race. As a defensive player, do you focus on that at all? Do you care about that at all?
Of course you care about it because, a good quarterback is usually associated with a good team. But, I do trust our coaching staff to make the right decision when that time comes.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you.